Yeah, it's just you said it right there. His ankle is battling some soreness, and we decided not to bring him back. We'll see how he's feeling tomorrow.
He usually checks out around that mark of the game. Frank, was that something where that you were down big, or was it something that had been creeping up earlier?
No, he's just battling soreness throughout this return, as is expected. So we decided not to bring him back, and like I said, we'll see how he's feeling tomorrow.
And then, Frank, just your general reaction to the game tonight, and why you saw Toronto take control in that second quarter.
Yeah, we played 3 pretty good quarters. Just let the game get away from us in that second quarter. Similar to the Orlando game last week, we were able to prevail in the second half and get the game back under control. Played better in the second half, but we battled 2 guys that got super hot. 2 all-star level players in Pascal and Kyle, and they were too much for us.
Frank, you guys have been a team that's sort of made its name on playing harder, winning 50-50 balls, the glass, stuff like that. Are you happy with where the competition level is, or the competitiveness, level is in these last 3 games or so?
Yeah, we're just working through. We're just not playing well right now. You know what I mean? We're working through that stuff. We definitely missed some 50-50 balls. We know where Toronto was quicker to it. They're playing some bench guys. They're playing with great energy that don't typically get the opportunity. And some of those possessions we just looked like we were stuck in mud. But we got a good team. We got a good process to evaluate and grow and make adjustments. And that's what we got to do right now.
Hey.
Frank, you guys have had your fair share of challenges this year, and the Schroeder one piles on top of everything else, and now you're in this predicament. What can you do to keep the team spirit up, considering the challenge that lays ahead?
Well, we know what we're going to look like when we're whole, and it's tough to lose Dennis when you're trying to not overdo LeBron's usage from a point guard standpoint. I thought Taylor and Alex battled in there, but it wasn't enough. And we just got to sustain belief in what we can be when we get whole, and continue to push through this stretch, which we knew would be an adjustment period.
Last 2, Kyle.
Hey Frank, you kind of said consistently recently that you want to kind of experiment and kind of throw stuff out and see what lines work while trying to win games. You guys have lost 6 of your last 7. Does this tell you that you guys can't do that? Is there some kind of rotation adjustment coming for you versus lineups that trusted?
Yeah, we're not trying to experiment in any way right now. We're trying to win games, but we're working in 2 guys coming off of long injury absences and a couple new players, and we just got to work through that.
Last question, Bill.
Frank, how do you evaluate AD over these 6 games that he's been back, and based on the feedback you got from him, where's he at physically?
Yeah, I think he's coming around. I don't think he's quite where he wants to be from a rhythm, timing, and conditioning standpoint, which is to be expected. After a 2.5 month absence, without being able to get into practices, and we're using the games to get back in shape and build his rhythm and timing. And I think he would say he's not quite where he needs to be, where he wants to be. But we knew that this was going to take place. This is going to take a little time for these guys to get their rhythm back. So we just got to remain together and keep on running our work.
Thanks, Coach.
Second game of the James Worthy, Allie Clifton. Brez will join us in a little bit. Mike Trudell will be working the post-game locker room. The Lakers get handled by the Raptors, who are a lottery team just like the Sacramento Kings. I mean, they came into this matchup 12th in the East, 12 games under 500. They were playing on the second night of a back-to-back. A couple things, guys, that just pop up. 72 points in the first half. Second most all year that the Lakers have given up. To get out-rebounded by the Raptors. This is a tough one, Big Game James.
Yeah, I mean, Sacramento game was tough enough. And then you have Toronto coming in here on their back-to-back game. Lakers a little bit rested. and their defense is just not in sync. I mean, I don't know what happened for the best defensive team in the league to allow teams to just come in and score at will. Just not in sync. The ball is not moving like it once did, and there's just no resistance. There's just nobody putting up a fight, it didn't seem like. You know, a lot of layups, a lot of second chance points. I mean, that right there is just a basic give and go, and I'm not sure what's going on. There's some kind of virus going on with the defense right now, and it has affected the entire energy of the team. So, yeah, they got some work to do. I mean, right now they're looking at a very bleak playoff possibility. Now, I know they can turn things around, and we know they're good enough, but right now they're just not showing that they have what it takes to beat Sacramento and Toronto.
2 of 7 in their last 9, Allie. Losers of 6 of 7.
I mean, you mentioned Toronto coming in as a lottery team, far outside of the playoff picture, and Kyle Lowry, they had the best player on the floor tonight. You know, you got to sometimes give credit where credit is due, and Kyle Lowry played vintage Kyle Lowry. You would have thought that he was the leader of all scorers. He wasn't. Siakam was. But the way in which he led and impacted the game, Lakers just simply didn't have an answer for him, and it came on the defensive end of the floor. And I think as much as we talk about the expectations and the urgency and that meeting the time in which we're in right now down this stretch to be ready for the playoffs and have an opportunity to avoid the play-in situation, whether it was being outworked, the energy, it just simply wasn't there consistently enough.
You know, Brez and I in the third quarter, I was talking to him. There's 3 minutes and 13 seconds left in the third, and I gave him a stat because I was looking at the box score and the play-by-play, and I was trying to figure it out. And I looked, and I'm like, okay, the Lakers were up 27-15 with 4 minutes and 4 seconds left in the first quarter. With 3 minutes and 13 seconds left in the third, they had gotten outscored by 30 points. The Raptors were leading that time period 62-32.
Yeah, it's almost if they got hypnotized and they're just walking around like zombies. And meanwhile, I mean, you said it. I mean, Lowry, I mean, he had an attitude tonight. Like Drummond knocked him down and was trying to help him up, but he wouldn't even receive that. That is leadership. And that's, you know, that's toughness. They're not going anywhere, but they're still playing against the defending champions, and they want to kick their butts, and they did. Siakam, you know, was the other player. You said it, Geeter, 70-something points at halftime?
72. I mean, Allie James.
That's unacceptable.
Listen, you look at these numbers right here. These are season highs for Siakam and Kyle Lowry. Siakam over his, last 3 games was only averaging 12 points per game. His last 3, he had been struggling. He goes for a season high 39. Lowry goes for a season high 37. They have 12 3-pointers between them. Lowry with 8, Siakam with 4.
Look, I look at this right here, and I know because it's our jobs and we're supposed to analyze and we're supposed to call it like we see it, but I'm still confident that these two will figure this out. They know, they have a pulse, they've been there, they understand that things are not right. And the thing that I love is you will hear them say, we've got to get back to it. We've got to look ourselves in the mirror and get back to it on the defensive end of the floor. James, you said it. Over the last 8 games, they are 22nd in the NBA in defensive rating. This is a team that remained at the top, even without their 2 stars. But the key now is without practice time, you're going to have to do it on the fly. Those film sessions matter just a little bit more because if they're going to turn it around, you said it at halftime. If their defense isn't locked in, their offense won't connect either. It won't click.
And Allie, to be honest with you, I mean, we've talked a lot about it on this show. The reason why you want to stay out of that 7 spot so much is because you do want that week of practice
time.
We can actually prepare for an opponent in a playoff series.
You know, they need it more than anybody. I mean, they are the defending champions. They've been without some star players. They've included another big-time player that they trying to implement. So practice time is important. But meanwhile, you got to take care of business, you know, on the fly. And they know how to do that. That's just defense, you know,